don't think I'd fucking talk to Stephen Jones even if he was fucking. Oh, here we are. We're live. Here we, folks. Yeah, great stuff.
Great
the way you're caught mid-sentence, isn't it? Folks, it's excuse me. It's Wednesday, 8:30, and it is your weekly dose of Mauls, balls, and all. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to you all. Depending on where you're watching us from, what country you're watching us from as well, and on what platform you're watching us, whether you're watching us on YouTube, on the Facebook group, Irish Rugby Banter, or the ruckthis.ie page. We are on all three platforms. Joining me this evening are familiar faces. I think it's the same band of brothers we had on last week. We have Matt Boland, we have Mike Reedy, we have Dara Weston, and we have Rugby's answer to Eamon Dunphy. We have Dave Sheedy is with us. How the hell are you all? Are you all well in yourselves?
Sound.
You're still the finest.
I would have said a mixture of Dunphy and the Incredible Hulk.
I deplore that introduction. I deplore that introduction. That's shocking.
All right,
George Hook.
Speaking of that, I was gonna call you Matt Williams there. That's even more insulting.
No, that is insulting. Yeah.
Megan, how are you? Megan
Good
says
evening,
hello.
Megan.
Okay, good evening. Okay, Dave Sheedy. I'll come to you first. Let's just talk before we get into the nuts and bolts of everything else that on the list that was sent. The team selection, Andy released it there earlier today at 2 p.m. One noticeable change midfield. Henshaw preferred over Aki, and then on the bench we have Ryan Baird and Thomas Clarkson. What did you? Any surprises there? David.
Forgot Sam Prendergast as well.
Or Sam Prendergast, sorry, yes.
Your favourite little puppy.
And Craig Casey.
And Casey. I don't mind him.
No, but sorry. The point I was going to make, the point I had in my head to make was debutants, Clarkson and Sam Prendergast. Yes, there you go. Go on, Dave Sheedy.
Oh, look. There's a lot of people giving out that more people should be brought in. They're in now. Let's see what they can do. Especially, like, if Prendergast gets 20 minutes, see how he goes. But, like, if he flops in those 20 minutes, will they start giving him stick like what poor out for all he got?
Of course they will.
Yeah.
Of course they will.
And then what? They'll be calling for Ross Byrne. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but you know what I mean? I think, look, I will back Andy Farrell. If Andy Farrell came up to me and said, Dave, I need you to run through that brick wall.
Yeah, we heard that. Yeah,
that's last week I said that. Yeah. But I'll back him to the hilt. But I think it's really poor leaving out Kieran Frawley after the backlash from last week. I think he should have at least benched him. I feel so sorry for Frawley, man, because it was very uncharacteristic of him. And I like Aki for Henshaw. For me, that's like for like, because Henshaw's a good 12.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought Bird should have been on last week. Personally, I thought he should have been there because the All Blacks, they're athletic. I actually think Henderson maybe should have been selected for this week to start because he's
bigger. Athletic as well.
No, but it's just because he's bigger in the scrum, so he can get himself about the place and beat up the RGs a bit. I thought it was weird last week having Henderson and O'Mahony on the bench because they're not impact players. They're the guys you start or you leave them out of the team altogether.
Yeah,
they're not. Okay. They're not end of the match. But I can't say much. He's picked the team. I'm going to stick to it. So
fair enough. See what happens. Okay. Before I move on, John Healy, are you well, lads? Yes. Hi, John. How are you? Good to have you with us. Catherine Keegan, evening, gents. Hello, and she's saying hello to Megan as well. Joe Lyons, the bell. Joe Lyons could have called you Neil Francis. Oh, Jesus. Now, Joe, that's your.
I like Neil Francis.
Okay, I thought you might. Schaefer Scanlon, our guest that was on last week, match predictor extraordinaire, Schaefer. We'll leave it at that.
Evening, Schaefer.
Dara Weston, your thoughts on the team selection and the bringing Henshaw into the centre of the park and leaving Aki out, and also the debutants on the bench.
Yeah, I expected there'd be a few changes. I mean, Argentina, I would still classify Argentina as a bogey team of ours. And obviously they've gone from strength to strength. I mean, they've beaten South Africa, you know, I mean, they've become very strong opposition. I suspect there's a bit of change around because they want to have the best team possible for the 150th anniversary game against the Wallabies. Yeah, to re-emphasize what Dave said, I think it is very harsh on Frawley. I think the problem is that with the success Irish rugby has had, there's an awful lot of fans who have come on and have never really known the lean years. Like, I remember when winning a Grand Slam in Cardiff was an absolutely momentous occasion, and Bod was there, and Jack Kyle was by the pitch sitting with his son, you know, and they were the last two people to captain Ireland to a Grand Slam. Bod had just won it, and Jack Kyle back in whatever 50 something.
Yeah, 61 years apart or something.
That's a whole topic on itself in itself, Darren.
So I think
1949.
there's a kind of an awful lot of expectation and so overreaction when players have a bad game or, you know, a result goes wrong and we lose.
Okay. And replacing Henshaw with Aki in the middle of the park.
Look, you know, I'll go with what Andy decides. I mean, they're both great players. So, you know, you take either of them.
True. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dara. Just before I come on to you, Mike, Owen Mallon, hi, Owen. I've no issue with young lads not gelling straight away, but at least let them have a few games to get up to speed. Sorry, Owen, I haven't highlighted it. I have it. There you go. Sorry. Hold on. What am I doing? There you go. Up to speed. Up to speed, what's Autumn International, if not for blooding young lads. Henderson is stone done time for new faces in there. Okay. Sorry, 1 sec, Mike. Just a few comments here. Schiffer Scanlon is laughing at me because I was slagging her. Alan Dorman, hello to the group. Tuning in from Nerca in Spain. I believe I pronounced that right. Joe Lyons, Christ, the 90s was a decade of hoping we get a win over Wales or Scotland playing England, and France was hoping it wasn't 40 plus. Very true, Joe. I remember those days well. Okay. One more, and then I'll come to you, Mike. Conan McIntyre, how are you all? It's been a while. Hi, Conan. How are you? Good to have you with us. Mike, that team selection.
I don't have any problem with it at all.
You have no problem with it at all. Okay.
Right. I honestly don't. I don't think there's a. I don't think it's a reaction to the result at all, lads. I think he's looking at different options. Henshaw has been very unlucky not to be included in the team for the last couple of years, really, through injury and whatever. And like, he was a mainstay in the team up to that. I don't think it's a reaction to Bundy. Bundy didn't have the best game neither. Not many of our players really reached the mark, but I do agree with both of the lads that I feel sorry for Frawley, and I think, is that throwing him under a bus a little bit? I hope not, because he doesn't deserve it. Like, he didn't have a great game. He made 2 or 3 mistakes. He's probably nervous. We were ahead at the time, right enough, but I don't think he should be ejected from the scene completely, because the boy is talented, and I think he was very unlucky the other night. Things can go against you in a game, lads. You know, I mean, a couple of knock-ons and you lose confidence, whatever. And I'd love to see him back in the fold again.
But Mike,
I'm sure he will. Sorry,
Mikey, do you think he's already picked his teams in his head for the games? Like what you said, that it was probably pre-done. Like, I
would imagine, yeah, he wants to make a few changes, and it's good to see. Listen, everybody's been shouting and bawling that we need to see new faces, young people, young Prendergast and Clarkson and players like that getting a go. And I'm all for that. Like, you know, if this is the time to do it. But make no mistake about it, Argentina are a fucking formidable side, and we don't want to win half-baked into that game. They're giving us a hell of a game, absolutely no question. And
very true, Mike. Yeah. Sorry, go on. You finished.
I'm happy enough. I'm like what the lad says. I'll trust Andy Farrell. He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
Despite some of the comments during the week.
Very true, Mike. Yes, I totally agree with you. Matt Boland. Matt, your thoughts on the team?
I would say, like, going on from the lads there, like, I would say Andy Farrell has probably picked he probably knows in his head who's playing all 4 games in the season, and then or in the autumn series, and then he probably changes it during the week if there's training issues or if there's any niggles or anything like that. But he knows what he's doing, like, and the trust has to be with Andy Farrell. He knows the players better than any of us do, any people at home do. He's with them, training, coaching. He knows them inside out. So, like, if Andy Farrell has made a change, it's for a good reason. I do think Frawley was a little bit hard done by, because maybe he would have done better today because he would have wanted to prove himself, and he's not getting that opportunity now. And Dave, when you're playing a rugby match, if a whole team plays shit, you can only do one thing yourself, and that's play shit as well. Yeah. It's like an infection. If your team plays really well, everybody plays really well. It's not just 1 or 2 outstanding, terrible performances or amazing performances. Things like that actually affect the whole team. So if there's a handful of players, you can guarantee all players will go. And another thing I just want to point out, right? People are banging on about poor Frawley and we were leading when he came on. New Zealand were down to 14. Like, when they got back to 14, they got back into the game. Plain and simple. Nothing to do with fucking Frawley. And people, like, at home just giving out about Frawley.
We're coming on to that, Matt. We're coming on to that. Yeah. Yeah, I know you're doing a Mike. You're doing Mike Reedy on it.
Let him finish.
I felt a tangent coming on, so I said, right, we'll nip it
there. We love anyway, here.
Of course we do, yes. Hold on. Joe Lyons, were we ever ahead in that game? AB should have been out of sight. We were lucky to get the score on the cards, but we were never in that game. Okay,
what I'd say to that is that we only had 60% possession, and they were shit as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, David. Shirley Thornton. Hi, Shirley. How are you? Totally agree. Shirley totally agrees with you, Mike, which is a rarity all in.
Thank you, Shirley.
Conan Maguire, Frawley will bounce back after that. Just need to rest him to give Prendergast a chance. Joe Lyons, totally agree. Faz had his team's less injuries picked. Can't blame any one individual for the OBs. It is what it is. Too many players not running at 100%. And Mike Sheedy, hi Mike. All Blacks teams was together a few games before Ireland game, but some of the Irish players only 1 game together. They will get better again. Okay, Dave Sheedy, around to you. The game itself, Ireland 13, New Zealand 23. And as mentioned there, this was the 8th or 9th game that New Zealand team have played together. This was the first team that Irish team, after the gap and all that, have played together.
Yeah,
that had to play a part of it. But overall, what did you make of the Irish performance and that game in general?
Well, Andy Farrell came out and said rustiness or any of that has nothing to do with it, and it shouldn't be a factor. So I'll probably have to agree with that, even though a lot of us can see from the way they were on the pitch that maybe it was a factor. But there's something that a lot of people are not looking at that I saw in the game before anything else. Razor did a really, really good job of setting up that defense to nullify our multi-phase attacks. And I just watched a bit of the game again before I came on. The line of the New Zealand defense was crowding out the center position because our runners normally come through the 10, 12 or 13 channel on the back end, So when it was off a set piece, you could see the pack sprinting and sometimes in front of the defensive line, knowing that Ireland were going to offload, so there'd be no ruck form, so there'd be offside, and literally crowd out that whole area watching players coming in. If you look at their body language and their eyes, they're looking for the runner coming back in. So they were completely set up for it, like. And I just don't understand why any of the media experts haven't highlighted that, because Ireland didn't have a plan B when their multi-phase attack wasn't working. So you could kind of see the panic in the players. Like, the first half was a game of chess. It was kind of both teams were overly cautious. No one really wanted to have a good cut at it. They just wanted to see how the game played out, and Ireland kept giving penalty after penalty. Mackenzie kept knocking them over. But there's a real problem with smartness and wisdom. And this is not just in Ireland, this is across all 4 provinces, because I think most people could see that, that wasn't working, so you need to change tactics. I mean, the kicking out of hand was fairly poor, and to give Gary Owens so easily to a good counter attack like New Zealand is a stupid idea. And I'm like, you're sitting there thinking, why aren't you pinging the corners, lads? Like what Roger and Sexton and lads before them used to do. Just pin them back. They had 63% possession, I think. So how can you expect Crawley or Frawley to do anything with a pack that's more or less going backwards, even though they were good in the scrum? But the line out is just, I don't think any of us can understand what's going on. I mean, there's more to a line out than just, you have to have a good lift, you have to have a good jumper, and you have to have essentially a good thrower. Because I remember the days of Frankie Sheen, and I knew that Munster were losing every fucking line out when he was throwing. And Ronan Kelleher, it's more of a kind of a lob than you'd say what Flannery used to do, which was a real quick dart. So look, 2000, I'll just make this point about the line out. 2009 in the Lions tour, the Lions line out was absolutely shite till John Hayes came on the second half for the final test, and then the line out improved. So, like, there's more than just one thing. It is the lift that's very important as well.
And timing, Dave, and timing.
But, like, I mean, anytime I look at Kelleher, and he's a great scrummager and a great player, but when it comes to the line out, anytime I look at Kelleher, it looks like he just doesn't know what he's at. Like, you look in his eyes. And just, look, finish up overall, poor performance, obviously, lots of uncharacteristic penalties and knock-ons and stuff, and maybe the dry training camp wasn't a good idea. Maybe they should have went down to Killorgan and Kerry or something. But, that pitch, actually, you play uphill in the first half and downhill in the second half, I've heard. They just, they'll bounce back this week. We can only hope that they will. If they don't, then we're back on and we're talking about serious problems. But I expect them to rectify all the uncharacteristic errors from last week.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave. Now, Dara, just from you, just fly through a few of these. Conan McIntyre. It's McIntyre, not McGuire. Oh, sorry. Did I call you McGuire? Sorry. I know it's Conan McIntyre. I can see a name there. Sorry. Mea culpa. John Healy. Does anyone think Izuku from should have got a chance? Yes, I do. Joe Lyons, it's been over 3 years since New Zealand scored less than 2 tries. Last team to keep them to 1 was Ireland. So much for an implosion of this Irish team. It's probably just the overall performance of what we're used to, Joe. I think that would be. Conan McIntyre. Dan Sheehan was a big miss for the lineouts. He was, yes. Okay, I have comments there, but I'll come to them. Dara Weston, your overall thoughts on the game itself?
Firstly, it's a bit worrying that Sheedy's doing homework before. He's bringing a level of professionalism to this.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? I just
not associated with it at all. There's no professionalism on this. Like,
Mea culpa as well, all right?
I think this thing of, we didn't have enough matches together. They're professional players. I think they should be nearly ready to go. It's like having a sports car in the garage and taking it out every couple of months. It should be able to still go fast. Okay, there's the.
I know, but Dara, a cold sports car won't perform as well as a warm one.
Yeah, but you warm it up, get a hairdryer on it.
Also,
that's exactly what New Zealand did.
You drive a couple of miles and it warms up.
And also, a car that's lying there ages will have a flat battery as well. So
there you go. Excellent. Love these car analogies. Go on, Dara, sorry.
Listen, if you can afford to have Ferrari in the garage, you can afford to have it hooked up to a trickler charger for the battery as well. But okay, there's the kind of the gelling element of the lads from the different provinces, playing together, etc. But look, I predicted Ireland last week, but I had a fear because there's no such thing as a bad All Blacks team. And they go through grey phases where they have bad results, but you underestimate them at your peril. And I think Dave hit the nail on the head. They had analysed us, and they had our attack down to a T, and they just closed us up.
Yeah.
Now, what Joe Lyons said there, I do think, we still kept them respectable. They didn't run away with it. So, I mean, it's... But yeah, look, it was disappointing. But I wouldn't be saying, that I'd play down the kind of lack of preparation and the fact that they had 5 matches and this was our first match. I think.
Okay. All right.
In a
Okay.
professional era, I don't know how relevant that is.
Okay. Thanks, Dara. Thanks, Dave. Mike, before I come to you, John Healy, All Blacks had only 10 out of the 23 that were in the World Cup. Okay. Conan McIntyre, your grand piece. Okay. Thanks. Glad we cleared that up, Conan. Shirley Thornton, mother to the fine Lewis Thornton of Sea Point Rugby Club. I'd rather see the young blood. I'd rather see the young blood play through this series. Yes, very true, Shirley. Yeah. Game time vital and planning ahead needed. Yes, very true. Okay, Mike Reedy, your thoughts on that game overall?
We weren't up to scratch, to be fair. Our breakdown got absolutely mullered. We got mullered at the breakdown. We conceded four penalties at the breakdown, which led to scores. Now, 2 of those I would definitely question. There was one early in the game that Kelleher was accused of not releasing or no clear release and going on. And he clearly didn't. He wasn't even the tackler. I was fucking stunned by the way with that decision. And also, Tyke Byrne had another one not long after, and it's the same. And I thought that's poor refereeing, actually. Now, the breakdown is always a questionable. Like, you can get penalties. You can win one, and you think we're looking at. I watched the game on New Zealand sports television, and they even said, by the way, "Ooh, we got away with one there," and I'm thinking, "Fuck yeah, you're right, you got away with one there," and there was a couple of things like that, and they only scored 1 try against us as well. I'm not talking about the defense, our defense. No, we missed 30 tackles in the game, but they weren't score-saving tackles that we missed. Okay, the try they did score, nobody got anywhere near Will Jordan anyway. But other than that, they didn't really threaten our line, and neither did we threaten theirs. But it was a game kind of played in the middle of the park, more or less. And some poor kicking, I agree with the lads, we kicked poorly from hand, gave them back the ball, 37% possession. It's going to be hard to beat the All Blacks with 37% possession, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe the Box can do something like that, but I don't think we can. And we're normally ahead in the possession stakes in any game we play, and we weren't in that game, lads. We didn't front them up. We didn't front up properly. Our line out, again, like the lads said, is an issue, and it needs to be addressed, lads. It needs to be.
Silent tangent, isn't it?
Okay,
silent tangent.
Go on, Matt, get in there.
Look, obviously, we're all disappointed in the game. As Andy Farrell said, it's not an excuse, and it probably isn't, because they're professional athletes. They should be able to just get on a pitch and play the game the way they normally play it. For me, obviously, Dave has highlighted the attacks scenario. We were just bad in attack, and Robertson had done their homework, and they had us to a T on that. Line out wasn't functioning. For me, the big thing was, and this is something that this particular Irish team are renowned for, is their discipline. And our discipline was nowhere to the standard on that day. We gave away 13 penalties. If our discipline had been on that game, we would have won that game, regardless of all the other fucking handling errors, all the other fucking things that didn't work. We would have won that game if our discipline was right. So that's another concerning factor, because that's something that this team has been really, really good on of late. Even in the last 5 or 6 years, our discipline has got us through games.
Yeah,
I want to just touch on the line out, right? There's something happening in our line out, right? And it's happening. The South Africans did it, and I saw New Zealand were doing it again at the weekend. They keep encroaching on our line out, and for some reason, our lads just they don't do anything about it. They just move further down, but it's disrupting their line out and their thought process on the line out. So they need to start, if you watch every fucking line out, where the hooker is on the sideline, you'll see more often than not, he's taking fucking steps away from the fucking New Zealand line out, because they're constantly encroaching on it. So they need that fucking leader to speak up, whether it's Doris or whoever. needs to fucking address that and go, listen, what's going on? Just fucking
they were closing the gap, Matt.
Yeah,
and no one was shouting it. No one was shouting.
That's what I mean. But like that, the South Africans did it in they actually did it in the World Cup. They did it down in South Africa, and New Zealand were doing it. So this is something that has been highlighted from all the other teams, but yet we're still not doing anything about it. And Dave, like the little things that happen to you on a rugby pitch are the ones that affect you. And it's mind games. Yeah. If you're constantly, like if that line out's constantly getting encroached on, it's putting them off. And then your hooker's fucking throwing scareways anyway because he's aware that fucking team is encroaching. So he's trying to make it fucking an obvious throw towards the Ireland players. But then it's going in crooked or it's going too far or they're actually stealing it because they're jumping up at the front. Like, so that's another thing that needs to be looked at.
Do you know one thing I noticed, and it hasn't been mentioned yet? If you look at the last All Blacks game in Dublin, the Irish players were bouncing off the ground to get back up into the line in defence, bouncing and bouncing. Like, how many times did Ryan get pinged for not rolling away? And Beelum and a few others for not rolling away. They were just lying there. And it was clear after 10 minutes what the way he was going to ref the game. And if you look for Will Jordan's try, Mac Hansen, James Lowe, and Hugo Keenan are all over, hanging around where the last ruck was, while Will Jordan just skipped in because there was no one there to defend. There was an air of laziness about them as well, I must say.
They were doing a Mike Haley on it.
Yeah,
I agree. I want to say I agree with what Matt said there regarding. Do you know what part of our problem? We're too nice now. We're too nice going out in these games, and we don't fight our corner. We got bullied. We got bullied in the World Cup at the line out by South Africa and by New Zealand, and again the other night. And we're not saying enough to the referee, by the way, before the game even. And it's the same with the scrummage and Porter getting pinged at the scrummage.
But again, I think Doris will get better because the season captains have these conversations with the ref. You saw Rory Best did it. You saw Johnny Sexton did it. You know, I think it's just. But that's one thing I think that, like, as a new captain, you're just not there yet, and it will come. But like,
he needs assistance. He needs guidance in that.
Exactly. That's why you need your vice captains as well to go. Listen, Doris, you need to have a word there. You know, this is happening on a regular basis.
But Mike makes a very good point there. We don't actually have that ruthless psyche in this country. We never have. I think Kerry and Kilkenny are the only two teams in the whole country that have that. We're gonna fucking show you now who the best is. We've never had that attitude. No,
they have rugby teams.
Hurling and Gaelic football.
Stickball.
Yeah, but it's the same principle. He's right.
It's the same principle. We don't have that ruthlessness in Ireland because that's not our psyche, and it never has been.
Yeah, but
Jesus, Cork people do. I married one. They're fucking ruthless. They just don't have the ability to win anything with.
I'll tell you one thing.
You need a team of 15. You need a team of 15 or 23 players, Dave. I totally agree with you. I know I'm only slagging about it.
Yeah.
No, but I know what you mean. You need 15, 23 players. You need a squad of players with a fucking dog in them.
But New Zealand only have that in rugby, though, because they're like expected to win because they've won so much. The same with Kilkenny and Kerry. They expect to win. You know, they expect to get over the line. We don't have that. If you notice, actually, the three best players on the pitch were the Kiwis.
Yeah. I know, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, before we go on to our next topic, that's right. Okay. Comprehensively spoken about there. Shirley Thornton is listening in the Sea Point Club car park. Conan McIntyre agrees with you, Matt. Yeah, Shirley, I don't feel Doris is vocal enough. Sorry. This is what we just.
He will get better, though.
We just said that. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Let's Darragh. Let's start with you on our the topic. The atmosphere in the Aviva was absolutely. It was dead. It was atrocious, and this is not the first time we've had this conversation. Now
That's my fault. I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I was up
I was. But I got to tell you, I was reading this. And it's a very similar thing happened to me as well. I think this is one of the problems. It's not the entirety of the problem. This is one of the problems with the crowd in the Aviva. I remember I got a present of 2 tickets to go and see Munster and Leinster in the Aviva was it last year or the year before? But it was a press, so they were premium level tickets, right? Great seats. I can't remember what it was. It was the Heineken Cup or whatever it was. But Leinster were playing Munster in the Aviva, right?
It was the URC semi, was it?
It could have been the URC semi. I can't remember. It was a good game. Were you? Good man. Anyway, so I was in the premium. There were presents of tickets. I was there with a mate of mine. A row in front of us, there was about 10 people, a mixture of I'd say, late teens, early 20s, girls and boys, men, women, whatever you want to call them. Late teens, early 20s. When I'm watching a game, and probably the same with all of you, I'm looking at the pitch, I'm looking for the spaces, I'm looking at the runners, I'm seeing who's covering what spaces, Hugo or whoever, are they in their space, who's looking injured, who's slowing up, who's on the subs bench, who's warming up. I'm doing all that, right? And you are probably doing the same as me when you're looking at a game, right? This lot, this full row, on about the 37 to 38 minute, they eventually got their faces out of their phones. They stopped taking selfies. They stopped FaceTiming their mates and slagging them and going, look where we are, turn around and go on the pitch and doing all this sort of stuff. Comparing likes on Instagram they got from their photographs and their videos. As I say, they were FaceTiming and slagging their mates that couldn't be there. 37, 38 minutes of the first half. The whole row got up, went to the bar. 10, 15 minutes into the second half, they all came back down, sat down in their seats, and started doing the whole thing again, faces in their phones, taking more photographs. Sean, come over here and sit with me. I'll take a photograph of you and I'll post it and see what happens. Hopefully Sai sees it and he likes it. Let's see what happens, right? Then with 10 minutes to go, they all got up and left and went, right? And as they were going, I kid you not, as they were leaving, one of the lads said to the other fella, will your dad be able to get us the same freebies for the next game? And that just fucking typified the whole fucking thing.
That boiler
Some
blood,
of the tickets, I fucking right it did, right? That sort of thing typifies that it's not the whole problem, but it's part of the problem. The tickets are going to the wrong people. The Instagram generation of this world, those teenage kids, early 20s, are going for one reason and one reason only, to be seen there. No fucking interest in the game. They probably don't even know a player on the pitch, right? That's part of the problem. The tickets are going to the wrong people. Matt.
Yeah, well, look, I have said this before, and I don't know how many times I've said it. You see so many people there Instagramming and they're fucking tagging friends and they're liking this and they're fucking doing that and they're not even looking at the fucking game. And you're right in saying that it's not the whole problem, but it's definitely a part of the problem. And I was at a Six Nations game this year, and like that, there was fucking no atmosphere. Now, I remember going to Lansdowne Road years ago, and you'd be nearly deaf coming out of the fucking place because people would be screaming and roaring and shouting at the team and fucking G'ing up everyone. And Aviva was like that for a good while. But over the last, 5 or 6 years, since all these influencers have started coming on and getting paid for going to fucking events and showing their faces and tagging fucking whoever, or, that's when it's all started coming around. And you're right, they're going there just to be seen there, or they're promoting something or nothing to do with the game. And for me, one of the camera panned at one stage in the All Blacks game to Jenna Ortega, the actress from fucking...
Oh, yeah, I saw her.
What the fuck is she doing there? What's she there for?
She's fine. She's fine. She can be there.
No, she can't. Because you know why? Because she has zero interest in the game. She would not know anybody from Adam, and she's in the country doing a film or whatever the fuck. Why is she going? Why is she there? There's so many people there that want to be there, can't get tickets, they can't buy tickets, or they're priced out, or they can't get them through the club, or they're on the fucking they're on that Irish rugby members page and it's a lottery on there. They only get a certain allocation of tickets, and it's look at a draw stuff. Unless you know somebody or you're a part of a corporate business that's buying fucking shed loads of tickets and dishing them out to staff. It's so hard to get tickets, and you have to pay for them then as well. Like, it's
true.
For me, all them Instagrammers should be banned from fucking Aviva Stadium.
Should be banned for life from everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Dara Weston, Dara Weston, your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, so firstly, I think we should start promoting products on Mauls Balls and all, like, for instance, my Nespresso coffee mug, and raise a bit of cash so that we can buy a corporate box for ourselves, and that way, we have access to the tickets.
Fucking sound.
Yeah, look,
I'm with it.
I mean, I totally agree with Matt. One thing I would say is part of the great atmosphere of Lansdowne back in the day was because you kind of had to make your own fucking entertainment, because you kind of knew Ireland weren't great and were possibly going to get hammered by Wales. So we were doing Mexican waves and we were singing songs about Fergus Slattery's hair and things like that. To keep entertained, kind of.
Yeah.
Whereas as the bar goes up and you're kind of like, watch low now, he's going to go in there now, and then brilliant. And then you get sick of kind of standing up to celebrate because they're fucking 6th or 7th try going in and the knees aren't what they used to be. There's always been there was always, back in the old days, there was the Derbies and Jones with the blankets over their knees, who never rose out of their seat and, maybe gave a little clap at the end. The influencers, I mean, is there a connection that, our team sponsor is a mobile phone company and, you have all these mobile phone celebrities? Basically, all they need is their phone and a light, and they make their career. Yeah. The other thing is, as I've said before, playing the All Blacks in Lansdowne is basically our Super Bowl. Corporate event crowds cannot get enough tickets for that. Because basically they say to anybody who's a customer of theirs, do you want to come to the All Blacks game? They immediately know who the All Blacks are. Oh, they're a fairly decent rugby team, aren't they? Oh, yeah, go and see them. Yeah. And, so it's always historically been a game there's high demand for corporate tickets. The one thing in an ideal world I'd like to see the IRFU clamping down on is a lot of clubs that sell their ticket allocation to these travel agents and corporate providers. Now, obviously, they get a few quid extra. Bar revenues aren't what they were, So, a lot of clubs are trying to stay afloat. And if they can sell their Six Nations or their Autumn Internationals allocation, but then it means there's no tickets for the members, and like the people who, we see lots of people in the group and like, it's ridiculous. You can't get any tickets on Ticketmaster. And it's like, well, have you tried your local club? No, I'm not a member there. Okay. Or I joined last year, but I haven't got any tickets. Well, that's because the players and the people who actually go out and coach the mini rugby and who run the bar for free and who, sit on committees, or do the books for the club, they'll get first dibs on tickets because they're actually giving something into the club and helping to keep it afloat. But yeah, I think it's we're kind of a victim of our own success in that people who aren't rugby fans want to go, as Roy Keane would say, the prawn sandwich brigade. And they're not going to be as vocal as true fans are going to be.
Yeah,
if they had the tickets.
I know what you mean. Okay, good point, Jared. Thanks for that, and thanks, Matt. Dave Sheedy, your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, your little story there just reminds me of Munster Leinster at Croke Park, because it was the exact same up in the upper tier of the Cusick. Like people coming in, I don't know, 10 minutes, decked out in their brand new, bought off the shelf Leinster gear, and what's the score? Well, if you were here 10 minutes ago, you would fucking know, wouldn't you? Like, it's just, I have to say now, I've been a bit harsh on Thomond Park, but it was great to be down for the All Blacks game at a full house, and the atmosphere was really good. There was no one doing that, but when they decide to turn up, will they turn up for the Lions match in a couple of weeks? I don't know, but I've only ever been to one Ireland game in my life because I can't get tickets ever. And me and Matt used to play with Mary's, and we how many times did we try and get tickets? And Mossy used to go, because our sponsor was Investec. They get half the tickets, apparently. I never got tickets through the club, ever. I begged, pleaded. Never got tickets. Never got tickets, man. And we were the ones drinking in that fucking bar the whole time.
Yeah.
Never got tickets. But like, what was the point I was going to make? Quaylon Reid got me tickets, and his family owns the Brambles Cafe, so they got them through corporate, this, that, and the other. So that was my first time in 2009. I got tickets off him, and I paid a good bit for him. But I know a few lads who are reps with different companies, and you'd meet them a couple of weeks after. They all know I'm big into the rugby. They're more football lads, and they were kind of like, "Oh yeah, had X and X people out corporate for entertaining for the All Blacks game," and I was like, "Why didn't you give me a shout, you prick? Why didn't you give me a shout?" But like, if you listen to someone fart.
No, so it's a slight feedback in the microphone. Go on.
If you listen to the anthem beforehand, like I turned around to my missus, we were watching the sitting room, and I was like, "Well, they didn't sing that anthem too well, did they?" It was like there was. I know Matt Williams said, and we can slag him all you want, but I think there was an air of, "Oh, we should beat this team, so we don't really need to try," and it kind of fed into the players as well, because there was a lot of laziness there, and it's just it's not the same as what it used to be, and I know that, but what are you going to do, man? That's the way the world goes now. I mean, I can't even get feckin' Oasis tickets anymore. It's ridiculous.
Aren't you lucky?
Why would you want Oasis tickets?
Because I love Oasis. They're my favourite band.
Pair of fucking
okay. Brilliant. Okay, go on, Mike Reedy, your thoughts on the crowd and the
I have to say,
subdued nature of it.
It's very disappointing, but I mean, we all complain about the corporate side and all that, but lads, the sport needs to generate high finance, even at club level now, and that's also been granted through selling their tickets that they get, like they're selling them onto the corporate stuff. That's disappointing, but I can see why they're doing it, because they have to raise finance somehow. That's basically what it's down to, lads, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And it's actually better to go to an away game now than a game at Lansdowne Road. Now I'm saying that through I've only been there once in the last 37 years, and it was a heavy game there for the 10 years previous to that. But anyway, it is disappointing, and it was flat, and maybe it feeds onto the pitch, maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
I'd say it does, Mike. I'd say it does.
But the difference, like if you look at the atmosphere in Paris when we played in the World Cup, it was absolutely fucking like, and I was in Paris a few years ago at a game when the night Johnny kicked the drop goal, we won that game, and absolutely unbelievable atmosphere there. Now, and I go, and Murrayfield is always brilliant. It's a brilliant atmosphere at Murrayfield. Great one in Cardiff. There's actually a decent enough atmosphere at Twickenham, but I haven't been to Rome. In spite of what people think, Twickenham is a good place to watch rugby. I think it's a double-edged sword. They need the finance, and they need these fucking Egypts, as we call them, going in for their Instagram. I don't even want to mention the word that you all used there earlier. These people that call themselves, I can't even bring myself to
influencers, Mike. Say it, influencers.
Stop.
They're mercenaries, Mike. They sell them their opinions for money. They're mercenaries.
It's the most cringeworthy
realistically,
statement.
then influencers are not going to bring in any money that's worth anything for the fucking
it's the most cringeworthy fucking statement in the history of statements.
It's the corporates that I understand, and they should be getting an allocation of tickets, but fuck them influencers, they shouldn't be getting fucking nothing. Some of these lads go to restaurants and expect to get a fucking free meal for them to just
they get laughed at. They get laughed at.
Yeah, but Matt, when's the last time any of us remember a really good atmosphere at Lansdowne Road or Aviva, whatever you want to call it? When's the last time we remember a rocking atmosphere?
Probably 10 years ago.
1983, my first game, 1983 versus France. And
the Leinster games in the Aviva are generally good, but that's because they have Leo going around with his drum and getting the crowd kind of hyped up.
Do you know something, lads, by the way? Is that a bad idea? I think it's actually an all right idea. Have a fucking drum, a guy battering a drum there, making noise.
Yeah.
It gets the crowd going. I really do.
Like the way the French supporters do. They have their
they do. They fucking noise it up. And we slag the South Africans for playing music during the game. At least they have fucking something going on.
They have fucking swimming pools in the stadiums. I'm not having that, right?
All right, hold on.
I'll tell you, I can remember the old days in Lansdowne when the French used to come over to play us and they'd throw a cock on the pitch, and next thing there'd be 4 or 5 fat stewards tracing this cockerel around the pitch trying to catch it. Sorry, I should have said cockerel, not cock.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
But
right, guys, gentlemen. Sorry, Darren. Sorry, I just want to get through some of these comments here. Martin Lynch, evening, guys. We talking about the game. We were way off the pace. Ref was piss poor. Hand
we're not
side up scrum.
The ref out of it.
Then does a 180 baffling. Also the hold on. Also the crowd did nothing all game. Friday at 8 meant they turned up a good few beers on board. No atmosphere, no roaring or shouting. The ABs never had it so easy. That's what you get when tickets go to part-time fans who are more concerned about their Insta stories. Think Argies can beat us. Okay, that's everything we just spoke about. Yeah, Martin. Joe Lyons, don't think we have a player that had the ruthless streak or ability to intimidate the ref. Not saying scream and shout, but a player that stands in the face of a ref and questions calls. AWJ Alumwin Jones was great. Look at Farrell. Heck, there were several incidences in the AB's game that New Zealand were bending the ref's ear, and not once was an Irish player heading over to stand beside the ref. The AB's won the mind of the official, and that's something we've not done domestically or test level for some time.
We need right.
Yeah. Mike Looms, I think Farrell needs to start looking at a few more options besides flogging the same players. We don't have enough depth at World Cup, so why not try Cormac Izuchuku in the pack or Keane Prendergast, Mike? See how they go, at least give them experience at this level. Yes, Shirley Thornton, hope you told him to fuck off and not come back. Well, I wasn't, not because I'm a bit more of a gentleman than that now, Shirley. And this all leads nicely on to Mike, and we're coming on to this. Are real fans being priced out of the game at this stage? I was looking, just to come back, I was looking at some of the ticket prices for that All Blacks game, from the top end down to the lower price tickets. And every year they're creeping up and up and up. And now I saw you have your match day program now costs a tenner, which I believe has more than 3/4 of it are covered in ads. And the other quarter is just interviews and random stuff like that. 10 quid. I remember when match programs were £1.50. Go on, Mike. Are they pricing themselves out of the market?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask this, purely because I would have no problem paying absolutely any amount of money for a ticket for a game. I've paid £600 for tickets for games, for the World Cup games, and I paid a lot of money for football tickets as well. It's maybe it's a stupid thing to do, but I have done.
You can mention that word. And
also fucking Ryder Cups. I've paid big money to go to 2 Ryder Cups, but okay. I do think, because I mean it's obvious that it is the case, because I've seen so many comments from people saying that they can't afford to go, and that's very sad. Imagine not being able to go to a game because you can't afford to buy a ticket, and you really want to go and support the team. That's dreadful scenario. And if the tickets are, I mean, I know that the tickets don't go to the clubs; they go to this Ticketmaster crap thing, and they fucking hike the prices up, and they charge you fucking booking fees, and before you know it, it's 150 quid for a £70 ticket or something like that, and that's poor. So probably some people are being priced out of the game. I can't go at the moment because I haven't got the fucking physical ability to go. But there we go.
Yeah. Okay, Dave Sheedy, your thoughts on this? Are the IRFU pricing the genuine fan out of the game?
I actually don't think it's the IRFU. I think it's Aviva Stadium themselves. Whoever runs that, because like I remember going to the game we were saying earlier, Leinster Munster in the semi-final of the URC, And it was 85 quid for my ticket. I had to get 2 of them because I was bringing the missus, and I was really reluctant to pay 85 quid for a ticket. Like something like that, 60 seems reasonable to me. 85, like that's 2 steak dinners that have to be sacrificed. And lads, we're still in the middle of a cost of living crisis. People are counting, a lot of people are counting their pennies. So yeah, if you turned around to me and said, I've 2 All Blacks tickets sitting in the middle, lower end, I'd be like, lovely, brilliant. How much? €200. Fuck off. No way. It's just, there has to be reasonable price as well. People are priced out of it. It's unfortunate. But this is the way everything's going now. Everything's just going up your insurance, your electricity, your blah, 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 and your rugby tickets. Like my season ticket to Thomond Park goes up every year as well. I'm not happy with it. And I'm getting less games. So,
yeah. Well, and don't forget, lads, we have to cover the All Blacks appearance fee as well. That's also priced into your ticket. That's why they're always higher. That's why they're always higher.
Are the Instagrammers not paying that? And those other
Instagrammers, would you fuck off?
Those other people you mentioned there, the unmentionables. How about the unmentionables? Do they not make any contribution to that?
Fucking AIG get enough money out of us for insurance. They should be fucking demanding they come over. Fucking.
Do you not have your insurance with Aviva?
I do on my hall.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Dara Weston, the cost of going to a game these days, is it just like the price, as I mentioned there quite flippantly, the price for a program, 10 quid. The price for your tickets to go and see the All Blacks at the top end is to go to 200 quid.
It is taking the piss. To follow up on Dave's point, so the Aviva Stadium Inc. is jointly owned by the IRFU and the FAI, and they each get to set the prices for their respective games. So FAI set it for the Wendy Ball and the IRFU set it for the rugby matches. So, yeah, like my Leinster season ticket, the price went up a bit this year because we were moving to Aviva, so it was about €400. Now, the IRFU have less. They only have about 6 games a year at home. Sometimes maybe 5 games at home. So they have to make a season's worth of cash out of those games. They have the provinces to support. They have central contracts. They have to pay for all these free shirts, rugby shirts that are sent out to the unmentionables along with their free tickets. Everything's going up. If you look at the Leinster rugby shop had a Black Friday sale, and there was like training T-shirts down from 60 quid to 30 quid, like 60 quid for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Everything has gone ridiculous. If you want to get a jersey, you're talking 100 quid. If you want to get one of the player fit jerseys, if you're a skinny prick, then you're talking probably 150 quid. So look, prices have gone up, but I suppose, look, the IRFU, they have overheads to pay, cost of living and the cost of electricity and stuff. Imagine the amount of electricity they use in the Aviva. They'll have the heating on under the pitch now every night this week with cold snap. They'll have the lights on the pitch to make sure it's growing. Not to mention that they're funding some of the provinces and their redevelopment loans as well. So they have those on their balance sheet.
How do we know the IRFU are not doing an OPW as well, just wasting money on big wages and stupid things,
Oh well, yeah. Look, I'm sure they're all being well paid as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say so.
But yeah, look, it's unfortunate. But I suppose when you only have maybe 5 games a year, if people will pay it and you can fill the stadium for that price, why wouldn't you? The only way the tickets will come down is when attendances go down and they're left with unsold tickets, which unfortunately they never tend to be, because the clubs, if they take their allocation, if they have unsold tickets, they can't send them back to the IRFU and get their mony back.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
No,
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Matt, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, look, it's the same as all the lads have said. Like, I suppose with like the cost of living crisis, everything's going north instead of south in price terms, and everybody has to take their cut out of that ticket price. Like, no matter what price the tickets are, people will still buy them. Do you know what I mean? If they can afford them. Unfortunately, for the people that can't afford the tickets, they just can't buy them. Do you know, and that's just the way it is. There should be, I don't know, like, I'm not going to be able to solve this problem. We won't be able to solve this problem. It'll be up to them. But, you know, like, when they have the big corporates going, they're happy to fucking pay big bucks for tickets because sure, they've loads of fucking money anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Amir, does anyone know, by comparison, I certainly don't know, does anyone know how much it is to a roundy ball game in the Aviva if Ireland are playing England, for example? How much of those tickets?
Why would I know that?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
He gives
out
out to me for mentioning hurling and GAA, and now he's talking about this crap.
No, because it's in context of what we're talking about.
Here's something that's in context about what we're talking about. That game I was at in Paris, now it's a few years ago, but it's 45 euros for a ticket. And at the same time, it was 80 euros for a ticket at Lansdowne Road. Yeah. So there you go. And that's during the Six Nations. And, and it's less at Royfield as well.
Plus, remember, the ordinary fans have to subsidise all these fucking reporters that are getting their free press passes.
Anyway, moving on. Megan Augusta, that's a joke. Really is so unfair on genuine fans. Thanks, Megan. John Healy, that's the truth, Peter. Okay. Conan McIntyre, too right, and they took it off the likes of us who love rugby. Too right, Conan, yeah. Are any of you going to the other 3 matches in the autumn series? I'll be at the Australian one, Conan. Yeah. Let me see. Shirley Thornton, yep, they should have taken my pick as their loudest supporter. Okay, Shirley, I well believe that. Let me see. Mike Looms, I'll leave her off. She's a roid. Okay. Let me see. Eric McCorkle, geez, Ireland are playing New Zealand at home. I'm not sure these young people understand how lucky they are. Very true, Eric, yeah.
Has Eric shortened his name this week?
Who? Eric?
Or yeah. Who? Is that not Eric who normally has the big long name? Eric something.
No. The second Earl of something. No, that's a different Eric. Megan Augusta, this is the problem, though. All people getting paid to go will go. It's what they do. The price of tickets have pushed away fans. No one can afford them. And also regarding Matt's comment, Ticketmaster and other sites make it so hard. It's a load of issues that need to be sorted out. Very true, Megan. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be sorted out anytime soon. Megan, again, even the jerseys are being sent out to people for free to promote them. Price and quality of jerseys is also another issue. Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. Mike Sheedy, Peter Wright, thanks to these Muppets on the phones they care about on Facebook, also don't care about rugby. This is why real rugby fans probably don't get tickets. Gregor Galway, Mike Sheedy, agree. Shirley Thornton, Megan, you are 100% right. I snuck it on a student ticket. Very good.
We've all done that at one point.
I think so, yeah. Megan, I volunteer to be your partner in crime. There you go. Shirley, a mature student, loud and proud, Megan. Megan loves it. Kieran Ryan, let me see. What is Kieran saying here? Kieran, not fair on genuine fans trying to get tickets for big autumn internationals on Six Nations. Was at Thomond Park for the All Blacks game. People in and out for a drink and food. People around me missed 20 minutes of the second half. And don't get me started about people on the phone not even watching the game. Aviva last Friday night. Hold on, Dave. Hold on. Right. Aviva last Friday night was dead. No atmosphere. Genuine fans couldn't get tickets or priced out. Dave.
I honestly didn't experience any of that for the first time in a long time, and I was above the tunnel in the East Terrace. So I obviously don't know where Kieran's sitting, but
okay.
There's always an element of that.
Yeah, you'll always get that.
I didn't experience it that much.
Okay, Joe Lyons, excuse me, I have a player fit top wear when I'm cycling. They are great.
Case in point, he wears the player fit top.
Yeah. Megan Augusta, yeah, the newest Ireland jersey, 125 quid, and the bleeding shamrock will probably fall off after the first watch. Yeah. Shirley Thornton, we're all being bled dry. Megan Augusta, I would guess about 90 quid, maybe, Peter. Okay. Catherine Keegan, I know Catherine likes her football too. Football tickets are from €60 up. Okay. Mike Loomis, great show tonight, lads. Thanks and well done. Okay, we're nearly done. We've a couple of more things to go, as we always go overtime. Gentlemen, I don't think this warrants much of our attention, but it was brought up as one of those things. Jim Hamilton came out and said that the president of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, it's out of touch. It's old fashioned. Should be got rid of. Mike Reedy.
Absolutely not for me. I think it's part of the tradition and it's been there forever, and leave it. It's the same old bullshit. It's about getting rid of the fucking hacker. Leave it alone. It's nothing to do with Jim Hamilton. He's not Irish. Mind your own business.
Okay. Good point. Dave Sheedy.
Are we gonna bring up the topic of this depth in the squad, or is that for next week?
Probably next week.
Okay,
because we're at an hour now. Go on.
Jim Hamilton, shut up.
Look at him, he spotted up on the depth in the squad as well ahead of this thing. Hey.
It's like when you do your homework about some particular subject.
I'm responding to all the people in the comments this week talking about, we've no depth or strength. But before we haven't noticed. We had all the depth and strength in the world. Now it's gone in a year.
we hadn't noticed, that you're
less than a year, a couple of months.
I tell you, okay. I wish Facebook would do voice comments. It'd make my arguments a lot easier.
That's yes. Dara Weston, any interest in replying about what Jim
to
Hamilton?
Be honest, Mickledy has never played rugby or anything like that. Would it not be more symbolic to have, a rotating thing, presidents of rugby clubs like Ger Brennan turning up and meeting the teams, etc. I mean, is it kind of antiquated? We have the president because the British have the royals. In France, do they trot out Sarkozy or whoever is current president there? I don't think they do. I think it's the president of the French Rugby Union. So, yeah, is it actually antiquated? I'd prefer to see presidents of actual clubs going out and inspecting the teams rather than
it's a matter of respect.
Whatever other retired politician they put in next.
Do we have a patron of the IRFU in this country the way they have in Scotland?
I think it's Mickledy, and that's why he.
Oh, is it? All right. Okay.
Princess Anne,
the president of Ireland.
Princess Anne is Scotland. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, any thoughts on Jimbo?
Matt, do you give a fuck?
No, I don't really give a shit either way. What he said or about the whole thing. I think Jim Hamilton can stick to his own fucking thing over there in Scotland and do whatever he wants to do with.
He's not even in fucking Scotland.
Well, Andy Good on his fucking podcast with the podcast, or whatever. Yeah. So
Andy Good,
whatever his fucking name is.
Eric McCorkle, I'm on FB tonight, so it's Eric. I made the mistake of using all names, James, Eric, Henry, when I joined YouTube. Not sure what my parents were thinking. Okay.
See, I told you. I knew.
So it is him.
I thought it was a different. I thought it was something different. No, Dave, could you imagine? I'd probably be arrested if they introduced voice notes. Yes, okay. Kieran Ryan, is the tide turned Northern Hemisphere teams losing to all the Southern Hemisphere teams? Look, they have a good day.
We'll see this weekend.
Is that the tide turning? Was it not always traditionally that way?
I think it was. Get an influencer to take a selfie with the team before kickoff. No, go away, Joe. Will you fuck's sake? Alan Dorman, what is wrong with tradition? Nothing, Alan. Absolutely
Thank you,
nothing
Alan.
is wrong with it.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just scratch that one off. Okay, before we go for next weekend's predictions, this sort of subject raises this thing. I saw that someone was writing about this in, I think it was Planet Rugby, or that was Ball Carrier, a good article. And the journalist, I think it was him, I think it was Brian something, he said, isn't it funny that the logo of the Irish rugby team is Team of Us, when in fact Connacht and Ulster rarely get a look in? And I just had a look at the starting 15 for the Argentinian game. There's 2, 4, 7, 10. There's 11 starting Leinster players on it. 2 Connacht, 2 Munster. And he said, how can you call it the Team of Us when it's so dominant by Leinster players? Sure. And his argument was that surely the likes of Prendergast, the likes of Izuchuku, and there was others he mentioned, which I can't quite remember. Surely they should be given a chance if it truly is the Team of Us. Mike Reedy, what do you think to say to that?
I say to that, I want the best 15 players on the pitch, regardless of what club they play for. It's as simple as that. There's no fucking grey area in this issue for me at all. And if you're not good enough to be picked on merit to play for the country, it's embarrassment to be picked just because you come from some province. as far as I'm concerned. It's the same with any sport, anything you ever do. If you don't get picked on merit, I'd be ashamed. I'd be ashamed to fucking line out in any team. It's as simple as that for me, anyway. There's no grey area.
All right, fair enough. Dave Sheedy.
Who wrote that article?
A guy, I can't remember his name. I think it was Brian or Barry something for Planet Rugby, and he was simply getting at the fact that how can you call it a team? A team of us when it's really a team of two.
But Brian sounds like the kind of guy that's still crying over Trump winning, because it sounds like he wants a quota system. And no, as Mike said, best men for the position. I don't care what fucking look. Everyone is not happy that they don't have more players from their province in. But like everyone has always said, once they put on the green jersey, it's Ireland. Forget provincial bias.
100%.
Even though the guy above me has a problem doing that. Look. No, just once there, it's like Mike said, best men for the job. End of story. There's no need to add any more to that.
Okay, Darragh Wesson. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's as the lads have said, you're picked on form, not on quotas. Back in the early 2000s, Jesus, the whole pack was practically Munster. And a few of the back line as well. And then you had Bod and one or two others in. And you had players from the north. Connacht have always been underrepresented. And indeed, for a long time, Connacht didn't even have a blazer on the IRFU big committee. But I mean, now we have Beelum, we have Hansen, we have Aki all down there as well.
Henshaw.
Henshaw, exactly. He's originally from there. So, I mean, you have to pick on form. I mean, it's not, it's not an under 12s game where everybody gets 5 minutes play. It's professional.
Yeah. Okay, Matt.
Yeah, look, same again. Like you pick the best available players that play for Ireland, and it doesn't matter if they all come from the one fucking team. That's it. They're the best players on merit to play for the team. Like, it's a case of if they had like a quota that you had to pick 4 from every fucking province, would we have a great Ireland team? No, we fucking wouldn't. So it's a simple.
We may have, but
and we've been there in the past.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right now, they wouldn't be performing the way they're performing because there's not enough. There's just not enough.
However, there are a couple of players they mentioned, Prendergast and Isachukwu. I don't think either of those players would weaken the team, incidentally. So,
no, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
No, not at all. No. Okay, gentlemen, we're again, as always, overtime. Joe Lyons, quotas for the team, for fuck's sake, is professional schools under 12s. Mammy's picking the team. Christ, that's what you're kind of getting at. Well, I think we're all trying to get at that. Shirley Thornton, great chat tonight, lads. Thanks. Shirley, it probably has to go. Mike Looms, well said, Mike. Okay, gentlemen, let's fly through these and then we'll end it. The predictions for next weekend's games. Mike, I'll run through them with you as always. We'll go around and we'll end with.
Can I just say I got 1 from 6 last week?
Yeah, well done. Okay, brilliant. Okay, Mike. First one up in the order of when they are happening. Okay, Ireland v Argentina. Who's winning that?
Ireland.
Okay, Scotland are playing Portugal.
Scotland.
Oh, I'd love Portugal to win that one.
England, it should be a good one. England are playing South Africa.
Oh, fuck. I can't see past the box. I'm sorry. Can't see past them.
Another great one. France are playing New Zealand.
Oof, that's going to be tight. I'm going to go for France, by the way. Fuck New Zealand.
Okay. Italy are playing Georgia.
Italy.
Okay. And last but not least, Wales are playing Australia.
Australia.
Okay. Dave Sheedy, same to you. Ireland v Argentina.
I have to back Ireland, man. I'm backing Ireland. End of story.
Okay. Scotland against Portugal.
I'd love Portugal to win that one. I really would, but it's going to be Scotland.
Okay. England are entertaining South Africa.
I'm going to go for England because they've lost 2 on the bounce and they're still hurting. So,
4 on the bounce.
4 is it? Jesus. Yeah, but in this autumn series,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You start again. No, I'll go with England for that one.
Okay. France entertaining New Zealand.
Vive la France.
Okay. Italy playing Georgia.
Italy.
And lastly, Wales are taking on Australia.
Well, considering what the Aussies did to England, you'd have to back Smith and the boys again, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Dara Weston, to you. Ireland against Argentina.
I think it's going to be tight. I think there'll be less than a score in it, but I think Ireland will just pip Dr. Phil and the lads.
Okay. Scotland against Portugal.
Like Dave said, my heart would love to see Portugal win it, but I think it'll be Scotland. But I'm hoping it'll be a close game.
Okay. England against South Africa.
England, because I want the Safas knocked off the world #1 ranking because they don't think it's important.
Okay.
Well, they didn't when we had it.
What's important now, though?
Yeah, it's
totally important now. It means something now.
Exactly.
We don't give a fuck about it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. France v New Zealand.
Again, New Zealand, so they overtake South Africa in the rankings.
Okay.
I'm not being petty.
No, we want.
I think New Zealand will beat them anyway. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a good game. Looking forward to it. Italy against Georgia, Dara.
I think Georgia could do an upset. I think it's their chance to shine. I think they could upset the Italians. So I'm going for Georgia.
Okay, and last Dara, Wales are playing Australia.
Oh, geez, has to be Australia.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Matt, finally, to you. Ireland playing Argentina.
Yeah, I think the lads are going to bounce back this week and beat the Argies.
Okay. Scotland against Portugal.
Scotland.
Okay. England are playing South Africa.
I'm going to go England as well because I think they're going to react, I think, after losing 4 in a row.
They have to. Yeah.
Although Borthwick could be raging if he manages to win a game.
I think they're going to win it by. I think they'll win it by a score like 2 or 3 points or something. A drop goal
or a penalty or something like that. Matt, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great to see the Safas suffer?
Okay, Matt. France are playing New Zealand.
I'm going to go with France. I don't think New Zealand they're not good enough at the moment. I think France are going to do them in Paris.
Okay, Italy are playing Georgia.
I backed Fiji against not Fiji. Who?
No, you did. Fiji against Wales. You did.
No, I did. Yeah, but I said Italy were going to lose, and they did. Who were Italy playing again?
Argentina.
Yeah, I knew that was they were going to lose that, and I think Georgia are kind of thereabouts. I'm going to go with Georgia as well.
Okay.
For an upset.
And last one, Matt. Wales are playing Australia.
Wales are going to get fucking slaughtered. Plain and simple.
Okay, and just to end on a few comments.
Won a game all year.
Yeah, because people are good enough to.
Who are you picking, Berkey?
No, I can't. Not allowed to do that. I don't involve myself in such things. Mike Loomis, thanks again, guys. Good job. Thanks, Mike, for tuning in. Always good to have you. Joe Lyons, Ireland, England, Scotland, France, Italy, Australia. Okay. Kieran Ryan says these are the games to try players if not when do players get their chance. Few Munster players on the squad have missed out playing All Blacks in Thomond. Haven't seen them in the 23 this week or last week. Okay, Alan Dorman, agree with Mike. Mike Loomis, did you mention Ireland versus Australia? What? We're playing Argentina. Playing Argentina. Okay, gentlemen, that's all we have time for this evening. My thanks to all of you for watching and texting in and giving us your opinions and asking questions. Thank you very much. We always appreciate it. My thanks to the guests here. We have Matt Boland, we have Dara Weston, we have Dave Sheedy, and we have Mike Reedy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we will do it all again next week. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks.
And
again.
if anybody's interested in sponsorship opportunities, contact Bert. We need to start getting money together for the Mauls.
Send it. Go away. Good luck. Goodbye.
Behind the paywall.